Hello and welcome. Welcome to Mike and Nancee's little Ozark Mountain homestead
Christmas
in the
parade.
Missouri hills of the Ozarks. And thank you, Mid-Continent, for having us back.
And thank you for my Mid-Continent.
I don't think they had anything to do with that.
Oh, I did after Thanksgiving dinner. I think I'm done. My belly button's about ready to pop out.
We are going to take you on a journey from Ireland to the Ozarks. In traditions. Christmas traditions, that is. So sit back and relax and enjoy this Kaylee. Just have a good time with us.
Thank you.
Now, the first tradition we're going to share with you is the holly. Now, the holly has been used in decorations in Ireland for centuries. It grows there. And in poorer times, the poor could take a little snip of holly and join in the Christmas traditions and have their house decorated.
Yep, and we've been married so long I have to hold it over her head to get her to kiss me.
That's not holly. Tell him, that's not holly, it's mistletoe.
That's why she doesn't kiss me.
So the holly. Wonderful, wonderful bush or tree to decorate with your holiday traditions. So here's a song about the holly. Oh, the holly spreads a berry, it's white as the milk. And Mary, she bore Jesus, all wrapped up in silk. Mary, she bore Jesus, our Savior for to be. And the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly. Holly, holly. Oh, the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly. Oh, the holly spreads a berry, it's green as the grass. Mary, she bore Jesus, who died on the cross. Mary, she bore Jesus, our Savior for to be. And the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was a holly. Holly, holly. Oh, the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was a holly. There's a berry, its blood it is red. Trust in our Savior who rose from the dead. Mary, she bore Jesus, our Savior for to be. And the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly. Holly, holly. Oh, the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly. Holly, holly. Oh, the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly. The holly is the evergreen, of course. The evergreen meaning everlasting life. We know spring will always come.
And it's always green, too. I learned that when I was 21.
Called the evergreen.
I didn't realize that till I was 21.
Many symbolisms there, isn't there?
It's one being 21.
With the three berries, the Trinity.
Yes, right.
So the next song we're going to sing is one of our very favorites of wintertime. We first heard this song by a friend of ours, Brian Leo, and his daughter. We heard it, we fell in love with it. It's a beautiful song to sing during this time of the year, wintertime. It's the Woodcutter Song. Oak logs will warm you well that are old and dry.
Logs of pine will sweetly smell, but the sparks will fly.
Elm logs burn like fast, chestnuts scarce at all, sir. And hawthorn logs are known to last, that are cut down in the fall, sir.
Surely you will find there's none compared with the hardwood logs that are cut in winter time, sir.
Surely you will find there's none compared with the hardwood logs cut in winter time. Holly logs burn like wax, you can burn them green. Elm logs burn like smoldering flax, with no flame to be seen. Beech logs for winter time,
Yule logs as well, sir.
green alder logs, it is a crime for any man to sell, sir.
Surely you will find
there's none compared with the hardwood logs that are cut in winter time, sir. Surely you will find there's none compared with the hardwood logs that are cut in winter time. Pear logs
and apple logs, they will scent your room. Cherry logs across the dogs smell like flowers of broom.
but ash logs smooth and gray, be they green or old, sir. Buy up all that come your way, for they're worth their weight in gold, sir. Surely you will find there's none compared with the hardwood logs that are cut in winter time, sir. Surely you will find there's none compared with the hardwood logs that are cut in winter time. The Woodcutter Song. Beautiful song for this time of year.
And for cutting wood.
And for cutting wood. Now, during this program, you're going to be seeing us use a lot of instruments from Ireland. Oh, yes. The bowron, of course. The bowron.
Bow, run, run, bow, run, run, bow, run, run. It's the Irish Beach Boys.
Goatskin. And while this is my tipper, and I'm beating it back and forth. And I'm using my hand to go up and down and in and out on the skin to make the different tones. And Mike here is going to grab the penny whistle, and we're going to share one of our favorite tunes from Ireland.
The wren, the king of all birds, St. Stephen says, got caught in the first. What's up with the kettle and down with the pan? Would you give us a penny to bury the wren? Oh, the wren, he's king of all birds, St. Stephen's Day, he got caught in the first. So it's up with the kettle and down with the pan. Won't you give us a penny for to bury the wren? Hop, hop, diddly dot, hop, hop, diddly dot, hop, hop, diddly dot, diddly dot, hop, hop, diddly dot, hop, hop, diddly dot, hop, hop, diddly dot, diddly dot. It's Christmas time, that's why we're here. Won't you be kind enough for to let us in here? Sing and we dance if you give us a chance. We'll be coming back for another whole year. Hop, hop, diddly dot, hop, hop, diddly dot, hop, hop, diddly dot, diddly dot, hop, hop, diddly dot, hop, hop, diddly dot, diddly dot, diddly dot. We play the carry poker, that's real hot stuff. We play the pinch in a pinch of stuff. Jam Mahoney's jig and the Donegal reel. It's the kind of music.
Put a spring in your heel.
Well, hop up diddly dop, hop up diddly dop, hop up diddly dop, diddly dop, hop up diddly dop, hop up diddly dop, hop up diddly dop. If there's a drink in the house, well, make yourself known before I sing a song called The Banks of the Loan. A drink with some lubrication in it. From a poor dry throat, I sing like a linnet. Hop up diddly dop, hop up diddly dop, hop up diddly dop, diddly dop, diddly dop, hop up diddly dop, hop up diddly dop. please give us something for the little birds. Wait, big lump of pudding, some Christmas tea, a fistful of goose and a hot cup of tea. Then we all be going on our way. Up-a-diddly-up, 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 up-a-diddly-up. Oh, the wren, he's king of all birds. St. Stephen's Day got caught in the fur. So it's up with the kettle and it's down with the pan. What you give us somebody for to bury the wren?
Ah, the wren song, the wren boys. Hey, he does that good.
I'm an Irish cuckoo clock.
You're an Irish cuckoo, that's for sure.
Oh, hey, now watch it.
The wren, the king of all birds, St. Stephen Day got caught in the furs. The wren song comes from the tradition of the wren boys. The wren boys comes from the legend. Now see, St. Stephen, he was hiding from his persecutors one day, and he was hiding in the fir tree. And of course the wren was in there, and the persecutors crept up very slowly to the fir tree. And all of a sudden the wren started squawking and flapping its wings. Gave away St. Stephen's hiding place. From then on, it was known as the Devil's Bird. So, tradition evolved from that legend. On St. Stephen's Day, Boxing Day, December 26th, the Wren Boys, usually young men, will dress in rags and whatever they could wear. They put straw on there and sometimes thatch from the cottage in their hair. They'd mush up their face with soot. And they would, of course, beat on the bow run and beat on pots and pans.
Straw in her hair?
Yeah.
And soot on her face? And smelly feet?
The original wren boy. And they would go from house to house and they begged for money to bury the wren.
I was one of the first boy bands back in the 15th century. That's why I look like I do now. Irish boy band.
So that was a lot of fun for the folks in Ireland. For so many years, they never knew if the Wren Boys were going to come this year. Are they going to come this year? Yes, they came. And they would come and they'd fill the kitchen and they'd have Mary. Now, sadly, it's kind of waned for the last few years. But in some villages, the Wren Boys still make an appearance. Beating their barns and pots and pans, begging for money.
Hasn't been a flood?
Huh?
You said it's been waning for years.
No, waning.
That's what I said.
Did it? Oh,
better find a mistletoe.
The next one we'd like to share with you is the candle in the window. Now, many of us put the candles in the window at Christmas time, don't we? Candle means so much. It means the light, of course, and warmth. The window. Wayfaring strangers walking by, seeing a candle in the window, know it's all right to come in and get warm by the fire or the hearth. A long time ago during penal times. Now, penal times, very long time ago in Ireland, well, the English took away their language. They were not allowed to speak it, nor dance, nor practice their religion. So during those times, a candle in the window meant the priest knew that was a safe house and he can go in and give communion. But people still put their candle in the window for those strangers, not true strangers, wayfaring. The weary traveler. Mary, Joseph, the baby? Yes, there's room. When Joseph was an old man was he married Virgin Mary, Queen of Galilee. He married Virgin Mary, the Queen of Galilee. One day as they went walking, all in the garden green, there were cherries and berries as thick as they be seen. There were cherries and berries as thick as they be seen. Then Mary said to Joseph, so meek and so mild, Joseph, gather me some cherries, for I'm with child. Joseph, gather me some cherries, for I am with child. Then Joseph flew in anger flew he. Let the father of the babe gather cherries for thee. Let the father of the babe gather cherries for thee. Jesus. In of Mary's womb, bow down, ye tallest tree, that my mother might have some. Bow down, ye tallest tree, that my mother might have some. Then bowed down the tallest tree to touch Mary's hand. Said she, oh look now, Joseph, I have cherries at command. Said she, oh look now, Joseph, I have cherries at command. When Joseph was an old man was he, Mary, Virgin Mary, Queen of Galilee. He married Virgin Mary, the Queen of Galilee. Ah, the Cherry Tree Carol. And in all honesty, that is an old English carol.
Oh, why'd you have to go and give it up?
Well, I don't want to be,
Falsifying a false rumor or nothing like that.
That's right.
Like my hair being the color that it is, it's extinguished. Makes me look that way, don't it?
It does. All right, now, our last tradition from Ireland.
I like how it follows my head when I turn it. How's my hair?
The laden table. Oh, don't we do a beautiful table during the holiday season? We put out our fine plates and cups and
What's
saucers.
a laden table mean?
Utensils. I'm talking.
Laden?
I'll tell you later.
Oh, tell me later. I'm always laden at the table. That's why I don't get to eat much. Go ahead. Your turn.
The laden table, as I was saying, we lay it out. We have our supper, and then in Ireland, they set it all back up again. Of course, for the latecomers, for the weary travellers on the road, to come on in. In Ireland during the holidays, it's an open house. They come and they go and they say hello and they sing some songs and they drink a little bit and have some good food. So the laden table is always set. Now, what's on that laden table?
As I sat by my window last evening, a letterman brought it to me. A little silk-lined invitation saying, "Kahooly,
come over for tea."
I knew that Fogarty sent it, so I went over for old friendship's sake. The first thing she gave me to tackle was a piece of Miss Fogarty's cake. There were plums and prunes and cherries, citrons and raisins and cinnamon too. There was nutmeg, cloves and berries, a crust that was yellow and blue. Caraway seeds in abundance sure would work him a fine stomach cake that could kill a man twice from eating a slice of Miss Fogarty's Christmas cake. Irish rap! Ha ha! Miss Mulligan wanted to try it, but really it wasn't no use, for he worked it for over an hour and we couldn't bust none of it loose. Till Murphy came in with a hatchet and Kelly came in with a saw. The cake was enough for the powers above to kill an ape man's jaws. There were plums and prunes and cherries, there was citrons and raisins and cinnamon too. There was nutmeg, cloves and berries, and a crust that was nailed out of glue. Caraway seeds in abundance sure would work up a fine stomach cake. Would kill a man twice from eating a slice of Miss Fogarty's Christmas cake. You can do that part with us too if you don't know it. Well, Miss Fogarty, proud as a peacock, kept winking and blinking at me till she flipped over Flanagan's brogans and spilled the homebrew in her tea. Kahooly, you're not even eating. Try another little bit for me sake. No, Miss Fogarty said that I said I've had quite enough of your cake. There were plums and prunes and cherries, citrons and raisins and cinnamon too. There was nutmegs, cloves and berries, and a crust that was nailed on with glue. Caraway seeds in abundance sure would work up a fine stomach cake that could kill a man twice from eating a slice of Miss Fogarty's Christmas cake. Well, Maloney took with the colic and O'Donnell a pain in his head. Made Malcolm lay down in the sofa and sure wishing that he was dead. Miss Bailey went into hysterics and there she did wiggle and shake. And everyone swore they had been poisoned by eating Miss Fogarty's cake. There were plums and prunes and cherries, citrons and raisins and cinnamon too. There was nutmeg, cloves and berries, and a crust that was nailed on glue. Caraway seeds in abundance sure would work up a fine stomach cake that could kill a man twice from eating a slice of Miss Fogarty's Christmas cake. There were plums and prunes and cherries, there were citrons and raisins, cinnamon too. There was nutmeg, cloves and berries, and a crust that was nailed on glue. Caraway seeds in abundance sure would work up a fine stomach cake that could kill a man twice from eating a slice of Miss Fogarty's Christmas cake. Ah! Woo! Got through it. Oh, this too will pass. pass.
No!
Oh, don't go there.
TMI.
TMI.
Christmas
TMJ,
cake.
TMJ.
Better known here in the Ozarks as fruitcake.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Fruitcake.
There, see, she went. That's her pet name for me, you know.
Because he's really nutty.
That and doorstop.
So fruitcake is an acquired taste, isn't it? I don't know who out there likes fruitcake.
Have you acquired it yet? We've acquired the same one we've sent out 14 years in a row.
No, it's our doorstop now.
Yeah, it's a dirty Santa present.
Speaking of Ozarks,
Santa
are you
Claus
ready?
won't even eat it.
Are you ready to come on?
Oh, wait a minute. No, I gotta have my harp.
Get your harp there. Yes, indeed. It's time for the Ozarks, and we're going to share with you an old favorite of ours. Christmas time's a coming.
We just came across a great pond. Well, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and you know I'm going home. Holly's in the window, home where the wind blows. Can't walk for running, 'cause Christmas time's coming. Can't you hear the bells ringing, ringing? Joy to all, but you hear them singing. When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Hey, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and you know I'm going home. Home fire's burning, my heart is yearning for the folks back home when Christmas time is coming. Hear the bells ringing, ringing, joy to all, but you hear them singing. When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Woo! Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and you know I'm going home. Oh, home fire's burning, my heart is yearning, tall pines are humming.
Christmas time's a coming.
Tall pines are
Tall pines humming.
Tall pines are humming.
Why is tall pines humming?
Because they can't remember the words either. Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and you know I'm going home. Can't you hear the bells ringing, ringing, joy it all? Can't you hear them singing? When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Hey, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and you know I'm going home. Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and you know I'm going home.
Christmas time's a coming. Christmas time is here. Are you kidding me?
Help.
Merry Christmas and welcome to the Ozarks.
Stuck my beard.
What?
Ow! 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 It stuck in my beard.
Ew, ow.
Yep.
So, we're going to share with you some traditions of the Ozark Hills. One tradition that's alive and well in the Ozark is storytelling.
Are you gonna tell me a story?
I'm going to tell him a story.
Should I turn the light off?
I'm going to tell him a wintertime story.
Ooh, is it scary?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
Storytelling is alive and well in Ireland also. Many wonderful storytellers in Ireland. So, this story derives from an old folk song. Late 1700s, early 1800s, there was an old folk song that was so popular that they named a dessert after it. And I'm not going to tell you the name of the dessert because that will give away the ending. But I'm going to sing a little bit of the folk song to you, and then I'll go into the story. The story of Charlotte. Young Charlotte lived on a mountain top in a cold and lonely spot. There were no dwellings for 3 miles round except her father's cot. For many a winter's night young swains would gather there, for her father kept a social board as she was very fair. One New Year's Eve as the sun went down, far looked her wistful eye, as through the frosted window panes the merry sleighs went by. She turned herself into the room, and as a well-known voice she heard, and there at the cabin door her lover there appeared. There was to be a dance that night, 15 miles to town. Although the air was fierce and cold, her heart was warm and light. Young Charlotte, her mother cried, this blanket round you fold. It is a dreadful night abroad, you'll catch your death of cold. Oh nay, young Charlotte cried, and laughed like a gypsy queen. To be with the blankets muffled up, I never would be seen. Charlotte was a lovely young thing, dressed in all the finest, couldn't bear to be unfashionable. She wore her dresses proud and held her head high, and all the men folk admired her something awful. But she was brazen to her family. She talked back to her mother when there was going to be a dance at the schoolhouse. The dances were not like play parties. There'd be liquor, and guns were worn, and sometimes difficulties settled with violence. But the finest Ozark fiddler was set to play, and, well, she would not have missed that for anything in the entire world. So Charlotte went into her room and dressed in her fine Miss Velvet dress, with a matching cape, muff, and bonnet, and sent for her servant to drive her on the coldest night of the winter. Now the snow was as thick as a man's hand, with a layer of ice on top of that. No wagon would have made these hills. So the old man went to the shed and pulled out the cutter. Now a cutter is a low sled with high wooden walls and runners made of pine. He hitched one good bay horse to that there cutter and went inside to get Charlotte. As they were leaving, Charlotte's mother gave him a quilt to wrap up in, and he thanked her kindly. Well, she tried to give one to Charlotte, but she refused. I will not be seen in a country quilt, she quipped. So the servant led her to the back of the cutter and sat her down on a tapestry pillow from the rocking chair in the parlor. He went to the front of the cutter, knelt down, and clucked for that horse to go. The wind began to kick up as they clattered out of the house yard. The whole sky was dusted with thousands of stars, bright and sparkly. Charlotte's mother stood in the doorway and watched them disappear into the black, with a very worried look on her face. "Whew! I never known it so cold," said the servant. "Drive on," said Charlotte sharply. The whole world looked like a broken glass, all sharp and sparkly. A little bit later, the servant spoke again. "Ain't you cold, Charlotte, honey? Drive on!" The wind slipped through the trees and cut the words into pieces. The servant was a little bit worried on how lightly and fashionably Charlotte was dressed, but he dared not look back, for Charlotte could be cruel when she chose. As they neared the schoolhouse, he spoke again. "We's almost there, Charlotte, honey." "Drive on!" Terror seized that old man as he gripped the reins and shook that horse and ran him like thunder through that icy night, with the horse's hooves scrunching and crunching in the ice and the snow, the cutter hitting cedar boughs of snow as they hit to the ground. The wind began to keen like a dying animal as the horse spat bullets of steam as the runners sang through the icy night. He pulled into the warm light of the schoolhouse window. Inside, people were laughing and dancing to the squall of the fiddle. Some men folk heard the stomping and snorting of the horse, so they went to the door, and there was the servant, standing in back of the cutter, rocking and shaking his head. So they went out to see if they could help. Well, Charlotte, they raised their hand, and there was Charlotte, sitting straight up forward. Her eyes were wide and staring with a layer of glass. Her lips were tightly pressed together with a white gloss of frost. Her hands were neatly folded in her muff. The menfolk stood and stared for a while, until they finally realized why Charlotte had not spoken. For there in the cutter, dressed to kill, was stylish Charlotte, frozen, cold, and dead. If you ever come out here to the Ozark Hills and drive around in the midwinter during an icy lashing storm, you beware of that voice in the back seat of your car. You beware of that voice who drives men mad. Drive on!
I'll be here looking for a ride because I think I'll be riding by myself.
We're home, Egypt.
Oh, we are already. I don't need to go anywhere. Yeah, that's easy. Save me already.
And
that was a good story.
That's a story of Charlotte.
You got one of them around
Great
here,
winter
don't you?
time. Oh, yeah, Charlotte. If you go to the Arabia in Kansas City there, the museum, they have a Charlotte in their bookcase. It's a porcelain little doll, and she's like this. And that's the name of the dessert that she was named after? Frozen Charlotte. Now, another tradition we share, well, actually all around the world, but here in the Ozarks, what do we celebrate? Christmas Eve.
Birthdays.
We birthday the Jesus, that's right.
Anniversaries.
When we're waiting for someone to show up, ain't we?
Jesus' birthday.
Mm-hmm. I said that.
Oh.
We're waiting for somebody to show up.
Well, probably riding with you. They're never going to get here.
Fat man in red.
Mid-Continental Drift. Thank you, Mid-Continental Drift.
No, Mid-Continent Public Library.
Not in this Mid-Continent. There's a drift.
I'm, of course, speaking of Santa Claus. Oh, we can't have a celebration without him, huh? Now, Santa has looked different through the years. In Ireland, he is usually in a long green coat. His hair is kind of messed up with straw sticking out. Sometimes birds flying out of it. He has a big horn and he's drinking root beer. But here in the United States, we know him, well, it started, of course, with that "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" poem by Clement Seymour. And Thomas Nash heard that there poem, and he got to drawing. And now, our Santa Claus is forever depicted in that drawing. Well, you know what he looks like.
He's a short, squatty Santa. He rides a big red sleigh.
Come from the North Pole in a big red sleigh.
He's a short, squatty Santa. He rides a big red sleigh.
Come from the North Pole
In a big red sleigh. People look at him and say,
"Ho, ho, 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 is that your sleigh?"
that is my sleigh. Hey, 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 hey. Now, well, papa, ooh, papa, ooh, papa, oh, oh, papa, ooh, papa, oh, papa, ooh, papa, oh, papa, ooh, papa. He's a short, squatty Santa. He wears a pair of black boots.
Come from the North Pole in a pair of black.
Well, he's a short, squatty Santa. He wears a pair of Naugahyde boots.
Come from the North Pole in a pair of Naugahyde.
People look at him and say,
Is that your boots?
and on my boots, you never seen a Naugahyde, because that's what they do when they wear them. Well, he's a short, squatty Santa. He wears a willow hat with a fuzzy little ball.
Come from the North Pole, little hat with a fuzzy little ball.
He's a short, squatty Santa. He wears a little hat with a fuzzy little ball.
Come from the North Pole with a little hat with a fuzzy little ball.
Well, people look at him and say, hey, that's my hat with my fuzzy little ball. He's a short, squatty Santa. He's led by 8 reindeer.
Come from the North Pole,
By 8 reindeer. He's a short, squatty Santa. He found lead in 8 reindeer.
Come from the North Pole, led by 8 reindeer.
People look at him and say,
Is them your deer?
I ain't never ate reindeer before. Well, now, hi-ho, Rudolph, hey, dear, dear. Woo!
Compliments of Mike Micham and the Oak Ridge Boys.
True to be-
Salute.
Truth to be told, it was an accident that happened one late evening in a cabin in Silver Dollar City. I I was putting a fire together, and I didn't know anybody else was in the room, and I was singing the tune to the Long Tall Texan. And I heard a laugh behind me, and a lady was listening to me make up these verses. And later in the evening, we were asking for a request, and this voice came out from the back of the cabin. Play that short Squatty Santa song that you sang earlier. I said, what short Squatty Santa song? She said, the one you were singing today when I was in here. I said, there is none. She goes, you were singing it. I looked at the guys and said, Long Tall Texan, key of G. And it's history.
And it's history. Short Squatty. All right, so another tradition, of course, in the Ozark Hills is singing along to Christmas carols. Even if you gather at your house or you go door to door. So we picked a couple, so let's have a sing-along. You all know these. Crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. Are you singing? The cattle are lowing, the poor babe awakes, but little Lord Jesus no crying he makes. I love you, Lord Jesus. Look down from the sky and stay by my cradle till morning is nigh. You know this one too. Tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Ah, beautiful. We could hear you singing all the way from there.
Yep, I could hear somebody has a whistle too.
Somebody has a whistle?
Someone, if they don't, I know where to get one.
Well, I hope you had a wonderful time. We're going to leave you with not a very well-known Christmas carol, written by Steve Earle, and we just love this Christmas carol. Christmas folk song, I should say. It just says a lot.
Christmas folk song.
And it tells the meaning of Christmas, of course. So, we have been Mike and Nancee from the Ozark Hills of Missouri. Thanks again, Mid-Continent Public Library. My MCPL.
MC what?
MCPL.
What's the MCPL?
Mid-Continent Public Library.
Oh, would you like to buy a vowel?
I don't need one.
Yeah, you need one in there.
Until we can all see each other in person again, we'll leave you with this beautiful song, Nothing But a Child. Once upon a time, in a far-off land, wise men saw a sign and set out across the sands. Songs of praise to sing, they traveled day and night, precious gifts to bring, guided by a light. They chased a brand new star west. They traveled mountains far, and when they came to rest, they could scarce believe their eyes. They'd come so many miles. This miracle they prized was nothing but a child. Nothing but a child to wash those tears away and guide a weary world into the light of day. Nothing but a child can help erase those miles. So once again we all can be children for a while. In every little town, every day is heard a precious little sound. And every mother kind, every father proud, looks down in awe to find another chance allowed. Nothing but a child to wash those tears away and guide a weary world into the light of day. Nothing but a child can help erase those miles. So once again we all can be children for a while. Nothing but a little baby, nothing but a child. Nothing but a little baby, nothing but a child. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa.
Mele Kalikimaki.
Wait,
Please, not my dog.
No.
And I want to say Merry Christmas in Norwegian.
Merry Christmas in Norwegian.
I can say Merry Christmas in Norwegian.
All right.
Okay. Merry Christmas in Norwegian. Work, work, work. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings of Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I wish I had some possum pudding. I want me some possum pudding. Want me some possum pudding. So bring it right here.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Don't send me a possum, please. I was just making it up. I don't want to rap on the rap.
Say good night.
I'm gonna and I would like to have
good night. Or good morning. Or good afternoon.
And I'm gonna be
Merry Christmas.